Bitcoin and altcoins today are at a key moment to decide kind of what's going to happen here heading into July and ultimately this summer. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to cover Bitcoin. We'll go into altcoins and then we'll go into the pump dump chart for others as well too. And we'll take a look at the dominances. So let's get into it. Bitcoin's at $104,800 and we're on the 3-day chart. So basically we're at this green market structure ribbon. We're hugging it as support right now. If we were to go any lower, we absolutely need to hold that 100,714 level. But quite frankly, I'd want to see us kind of hold snug in this green market structure ribbon and these lows that we've been holding for the past week now, which is around 103,500. If we start to break down from those points and we see momentum building to the downside, it's very likely we could come down and break that $100,000 level and have a little move down to the 3-day 50 moving average here, which is around 95,000. And then at that point, we could see a strong rebound with a wick, reclaim 100,000, and then we could be on our way like that. So we need to watch that closely. In my opinion, a move like that would happen between today and tomorrow, because it seems like the Thursdays and Fridays of the past weeks have been those type of moments, like back here, this red candle Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Friday, we had the rebound back here. This was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this red candle. So it seems like, the tail end of the week is a little rocky. So we got to watch this close today. If we look at the momentum on the 3-day chart, we are headed down here in the stock RSI, the TSI as well too. So we really need to see momentum kick back up. And what happens in the next few days heading into the weekly candle close is going to be very important for that to be the case, to move back to the upside and reclaim above 107,000 and then ultimately take out 110,000. If we take a look at the 12-hour chart, we can see here that the stock RSI has kind of cooled off. If we can see the stock RSI come up here with the momentum, get above the 50 line, in tandem that TSI crossing back up and getting above the 0 line, then it's very likely we'll see a move back up to try to break above 107,000 and ultimately new highs here around 110,000. And then the pink will get above the blue. But we need to see that happen. For right now, the momentum is pressing to the downside at the moment. And as I said, those key levels there, if we break 103,500 and we see momentum to the downside, we could see either a double bottom at this $100,000 level, but very likely we might sweep it and come down to these 12-hour 200 moving averages here. This red one at 95,000, which is coinciding with that 3-day 50 moving average. So that's the downside targets if we were to come and do that. But if we can come up here in the immediate short term and break above, 107,000 with momentum and hold above with at least a 12-hour candle body close. You can see we tried to do it back here, but that candle couldn't close above. If we can do it this time, then it's very likely we'll come up, and this could be the move that brings us up to new highs. So in my opinion, it's going to happen within these next few days here. So that's going to be the case. So we got to watch it close. If we're looking at others, market cap, looking at the 1-day chart, if we were to go any lower, we came just yesterday, we tapped very close to the top of the belly of the beast. If we're going to head any lower, then we have this downward sloping trend line support, and it's very likely we'd find our bounce off of this. So if Bitcoin does come down to that 100,000 or lower, very likely we'll see that bounce come like that. And then if it has a strong bounce up to reclaim 100,000, so if it comes down like this, comes back up, then it's likely others would do something like this and then come back up, and that would be the spark to bring it to like a move like this to set it off heading into July. So watching that close, if we haven't already bottomed already, we could very well be there. So looking at the 3-day chart, that's one thing we're tracking. We wanted to see this MACD. So very similar to back here, we do have multiple more red MACD bar prints here. This one only had one, but the pattern still remains the same. If we can see that 3-day TSI cross up back above the 0 line with momentum, it's very likely we're at that point where we're ready to send it up like November of last year. We just need to see that happen. Till then, we run the risk of, retesting that trend line. And then if we see something worse with Bitcoin, we could see the 786 retest. So we need to see how Bitcoin reacts, because Bitcoin is going to tell us what happens here in the altcoin chart. And then looking at even like the blue and the pink, how they cross very momentarily at this point before heading up. Blue and the pink crossing momentarily before heading up. So this would be the moment, and this 3-day candle closes in a day and 11 hours. So like I said, between today and tomorrow, it's going to be so key. So that's that. Looking at the pump dump chart on others. So that's where we're at right now is similar to if we're comparing it to November, this point right here. So we could see a little bit more of a move up to like this point, 0.99, which would be another from current levels, like 5% higher here, which would be a 5% drawdown in the other chart. So from current levels here, that would bring us down to that trend line tap at 220 billion on others. So yeah, 220 billion, maybe a little bit lower. So if we're going to do something like back here, let's just copy it and see kind of if we're already tracking and mapping it like that. I mean, we could already well have done it, as soon as we roll back over on the 3-day chart and break back below this market structure ribbon, we're game on. Just like back here. If we see a red drop right through, then it's very likely we can say, this is it. This is the moment. But until then, we got to just be a little cautious in case we start to poke up here a little bit higher. But in my opinion, this is it. We got to do it. This is the moment. We have to do it. So that's what I'm watching. I mean, if we look at kind of where this went to retest, retested kind of either this area here, which it already did come to, or this area right here. So we could have a little bit higher, or we already did it. Nonetheless, in my opinion, we're close. We're very close at the point, if not already there. So that's that. And then you can even see how we looked here in the TSI. You see how we had that little cross up right at that zero line, cross up right at that zero line. It's tracking. I mean, it looks, all we need is that move down like this. And that's what was November. This is what could be heading into summer here. And then looking at the pink and the blue kissing right there. So we need to see that. They're already crossing kiss. We need to see them come back. And then the MACD as well too, same similar thing there. And then the RSI coming back down below the orange line here. That would be the nail in the coffin. But we could pull up a little bit higher like that and then go. So that could happen within today and tomorrow. So we just got to be mindful that we're close to being out of the woods, but not quite there yet. We need to see those things align to be like the coast is clear. But until then, we got to remain cautiously optimistic. So that's that. Looking at others' dominance as well too. Going to the 3-day chart we're currently on. So as you can see, we are, if I take a trend line connecting it down like this, I mean, we already tapped a key level as far as this trend line goes. I mean, we could head a little bit lower to this 1618 breakdown. We had taps since June of 2024, support, and then February 2025 support. If we were to go lower, I would call for a 6.93% others dominance if we haven't already hit our bottom as we speak right now, because we could pull this up a little bit tighter like that and kind of null and void that wick there. And then we could see February 2025 support, April 2025 support, and then where we just came through in June. So February, April, so 2 months, and then 2 months, so this could be a local bottom or the macro bottom before we start to see a move like November, like we did back here where we come up. And this time we need to break above and hold above the belly of the beast. If I show you it here, break above and hold above the belly of the beast and then take out these highs. And at that point, it's alt season. That will be the big ultimate blow off tops for all these altcoins. So in my opinion, we're at this critical time point where we're going to see either one little scary moment lower and that will be it. And then we see a quick recovery to doing like a November type move, or we've already done it and we're going to see a catalyst to just spring us up here. But like I said, these next couple of days are going to be critical for those stars to align for those things that we're tracking on the chart. But we have the levels to the downside if we do see it. But in my opinion, we're very close. So that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link is in the bio for that. I'll let you guys know if anything changes or what I'm seeing panning out. And I'll see you guys there and in the next video.